Record it to the clock.
Okay. Thank you so much. Okay, great. The plumber just said coming back tomorrow. You're recording? Great.
Yeah, we're recording and it's going to the cloud. So you
Perfect.
should. Okay, well, welcome to the September 13th, 2022. And it is now 1:05 UTC. And my name is Dave, KV0S. And this week, I'm going to be going to the DCC in North Carolina, have a big long drive in a day or two. And so hope to see many of you there. And so that's about it for me right this week. Next on the list, let's see, it's random. So I'm going to give Nathaniel a chance to talk. W2NAF. Go ahead, Nathaniel.
Thanks a lot, Dave. I've been keeping very busy as usual. We got the 2 white papers submitted to the National Academy of Sciences. So that was really good. I'm continuing. I got the step 1, NASA step 1 for the Solar Eclipse QSO Party grant submitted. That's the easy part. So then in a couple of months, I have a much harder document to put together. I'm getting ready to go to the Tapper DCC. We'll be having, I think about, 5 Scranton students, and then Diego from NJIT and Christina and the Case Western people will be going. So we're all getting ready with our presentations. Let's see, I know Bill Engelkey's going too. And so just keeping in Scotty and yeah, lots of people. So we're just keeping very, very, very busy. Yes. Back to that.
And I think most of Friday is Tangerine or Hamsai.
Yeah, so we seem to be, very much on the schedule there.
Okay. Well, next on the list is Jules, K2 KGJ. Go ahead, Jules.
Okay, good evening to everyone on the net. Nothing really to report this week. Doing some work around the house, getting ready for the next season, and back to net.
Okay. Next on the list is Michael, AAAK. Go ahead, Michael. Greetings to everybody from Michael. Okay. Well, next on the list is Bill, AB4EJ, right?
Yeah, thanks, Dave. Yeah, my activities were pretty limited because I was on vacation most of the week, but hit the ground running on the way back. We've got 4 new students assigned to our projects, 2 to continue to work on the website for the space weather project, and 2 to work on machine learning. So we're going to have one of them join on tomorrow's, one of the machine learning people join in tomorrow's 8 a.m. Central Telco on that topic, which is good. And looking forward to working with them, and looking forward to seeing everybody at DCC. So I think that's about all I got. Back to net.
Okay, fine business. And next is, let's see, Dan in 4XWE. Go ahead, Dan.
Thank you, Dave, and hello, everyone. To answer Mike's question, the magnetometer board should be available right after DCC. I know that Scotty had 2 tests to do, and I believe he's completed one of the tests on all the boards. I'm not sure the status of the other test. So anyway, it's getting close, believe it or not. On my side, I haven't really done a lot. I worked a little bit on scripts. I'm also in the process of trying to write a wiki that kind of, among other things, instructs people on how to do scripts for compiling software from source code. And that's about it from here. Back to you, Dave.
Well, fine business. That'll be a nice addition when you have something like that. You've got quite a bit of experience at it. Next on the list is David in one HAC. Go ahead, David.
Good evening, Net. Continuing to do the various projects that I have. Our Baffin Island, South Pole stuff, and the solar power system for Antarctica, Korean stations. And we got some good news. We had our South Pole reapplication or grant was approved, I discovered. So we got to work on it for a little while longer. I guess that's about it. The only thing, I've got another obligation on Friday, so I'm going to have to miss the first day of DCC and look forward to going back and watching it after the fact. Back to Net.
Okay, well, fine business. And next on the list is James, KG4 DSG. Go ahead, James.
Evening, Dave and the group. Not much going on here. I've been searching Google for the best route to Charlotte. I've got two options. The shorter one is 10 miles shorter than the longer one, but it includes $30 of tolls. I don't know if $30 is worth 10 minutes, so I'm still looking. With that, back to the Net.
Well, very good. And next on the list is Joe, W7LUX. Go ahead, Joe.
Let me get myself unmuted here. Good evening, everybody. Not a lot to report. The grape is chugging away, except when I need the antenna for RACES and ARES nets. Other than that, bid everybody a very, very good week. Thank you, Dave.
Okay. Next on the list is Jay, WB8 SBI. Go ahead, Jay.
And good evening to all my fraternal brothers in amateur radio. Likewise, the sentiment, I share the sentiment with everybody. Definitely looking forward to DCC. I am going to take my life in my hands and fly to Charlotte. American Airlines. We'll give you the horror stories when I get down there. Technology-wise, I was at a conference, an automotive cybersecurity conference last week, and one of the speakers was from the Sandia National Laboratories, and they are proposing a new cryptology standard. They're calling it Z cryptology, Z for Zulu, and it's based on a premise that it does not use any PKI or Diffie-Hellman type structure. It instead comes up, it generates the key on the fly and somehow adds it into the message itself. And then the receiving station, it has no prior knowledge of what the key will be. It's a complete mystery, but it's got enough information in the transmitted message that it can decrypt the message. So the advantage here is that every single message has a unique signature to it, that there's no way to predict a priori what the key for a given message will be. Now, they've tested it so far, and they say they have, no one's been able to crack it so far because of that. Now, that doesn't take into account quantum computing. That's a whole nother thing. But so that was the technology little something that I was exposed to last week. I'm also trying to research it to understand a little bit more for myself. So anyway, hope to see all my fraternal brothers and sisters at DCC. Looking forward to it. And with that, back to net control.
Very good. Next on the list is Jonathan, KC3EEY. Go ahead, Jonathan.
Hi, everybody. It's been a fairly busy week. I'm getting ready for my presentations for Tapper DCC, getting all of that in order, getting everything in order at home. I also went to our local Burgosh Amateur Radio Club meeting last week. It was quite enjoyable, and there was a lot of interest in topics of natural radio and VLF. In fact, in November, I will be doing a presentation for the Burgosh Amateur Radio Club, which will be about natural radio and all the exciting things that I've done in VLF. And lastly, what kind of held me up was an issue with Comcast. So I recently moved, and I had Comcast service installed here or ordered here, and I was told by customer service that the installer will also run Cat 5 or 6 network cable and also terminate the ends. I was told that by multiple times from Xfinity customer service. I also mentioned that I wanted two cable cards brought with me because I won't be using their boxes. I'll be using TiVo, so I need cable cards for those. Well, the tech came, then he told me that he does not install network cable, and he did not get the information in a timely manner at the fault of Comcast due to their system, and he did not bring the cable cards. So good thing that I went to Home Depot a couple hours before the installer, and I bought some network cable, and I was able to have the guy at least run the cable with the coax cable that he was installing. It's not for any sort of natural radio or anything. It's only for network connectivity of the downstairs TiVo. But that kind of kept me busy and occupied when I should have been working on my presentation. But that is coming along. That's all I have. Back to the net.
Okay. Well, looking forward to hearing your talks. Next on the list, we've got Jules. So it's Todd, 80RR. Go ahead, Todd.
Yeah, evening, everybody. Yeah, so I've been gotten slowed down the last couple of weeks. I was dry fitting a rotor bracket for I've got an improved shielded loop antenna for my grape, and I kind of miscalculated the moment arm and lost control of it, and it tore the end of my left middle finger off. So yeah, so it's amazing. You lose the use of one hand, it kind of slows you down. So anyway, yeah, another week or two, and I should be back on it. So otherwise, I'll get my antenna up here before it snows, though. I guarantee that.
Oh yeah.
Back to that.
Well, best of luck with all that, but hate to see that. Nathaniel gave his talk, so I guess it's Tom in 5EG. Go ahead, Tom.
Oh, good evening, Dave and the group. Well, I am in Charlotte now. I was supposed to come Wednesday. That got canceled. And Tuesday was booked, and so I got rebooked to today, but we're here. Over the last week, I managed to write some Verilog code, pin out the I2C transceivers from the dev kit and the SPI. I found a problem with two of the I2C interfaces that don't operate at the correct voltage. There's a problem with the dev kit uses IO pins on that bank at 2.5 volts. And so I can't assign I2C pins at 3.3 volts. I have to assign them at 2.5 volts. I sent an email to Scotty, but I think he's been pretty busy and hadn't had a chance to reply yet. So I was hoping he might be on the call tonight. And that's about it. Back to the group.
Well, Tom, I hope you can find some stuff to keep you busy for the next couple days.
Yeah. Well, I'm told downtown is quite a nice place. So hopefully Uber knows the way there.
Very good. Well, unless I missed somebody, that should be the end of the list. And we are open for general discussion.
I wanted to add one thing. I am going to DCC, and for James, there actually is a deal on the West Virginia Turnpike where you can buy a longer term ticket. I think it costs a few dollars more, but if you're planning on using the Turnpike twice in 1 year, it's a heck of a deal.
I think I stumbled across that. Thank you for mentioning it. Honestly, this alternate route, I used to live in Florida. I'm very familiar with I-75. It's only 10 miles longer.
Yeah.
I think I'll just take that route. The drive through West Virginia might be nice this time of year. And I might think about it coming back, but I think I'll take 75 south.
I invested in $85 for the 5-year Transportation Security Agency's pre-check system. So that means that when I go to the airport, yes, I got to go through the metal detector. I don't have to take my belt and shoes off. Don't have to take my jacket off. All I have to do is set things on the conveyor belt, walk through the body scanner, and I'm on my way. For those of you that aren't familiar with it, it's run by TSA. It's an $85 fee. You do get fingerprinted and photographed, and they do run your information through all their various intelligence and criminal databases. Then you get a number. It's like your social security number. It's a letter number combination. You give that to the airline when you make your reservation. It goes on your boarding pass. And when you get to the airport, you go through a special line. You don't have to wait with everybody else. You go, it's a much shorter wait through there. So I'll let you know how it works out.
Very good. Well, Nathaniel, it looks like your electricity is working fine.
Yep, it seems to be good for now. So yeah, it's back. It just took the computer a long time to get rebooted. And Jonathan, you may notice the VLF system may have gotten turned off. But it should be back on now.
Hey, we do have a new person, Gary. Looks like K04 TIB. Gary, are you there?
On my screen, it says still trying to connect to his audio.
Oh, okay.
Nathaniel, what's the t-shirt of the night say?
Oh, the t-shirt of the night. And this is my political philosophy.
I think we can all agree.
Yeah.
I would like to get one of those t-shirts.
Yeah. Well, I'm wearing my technical t-shirt tonight, which I will have there, you know. So
I'm
And
back.
this is like, by the way, Nathaniel,
Yeah?
this is when you go to take your professional engineer's exam. They're not going to like it if you wear this.
No
Oh,
problem.
yes.
'Cause this is every subject you studied in the undergrad EE program on this shirt, including the arms and the back.
I like it. Yeah. But my internet connection froze. Did you like my shirt?
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Nathaniel, that reminded me, before the scrubbed launch of Artemis, I was looking at their manifest. They've got a lot of CubeSats on there, one of which is doing solar wind experiments. Are you familiar with it?
Yeah, I think I heard about it, but I didn't pay nearly enough attention to it.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you know about it?
They're going to kick it out in lunar orbit. It's going to be looking at solar wind. It was supposed to go up as an independent launch, but then they got this ride.
That's great.
And it'd be interesting to see how they're going to get data back from the moon on a CubeSat, but they apparently seem to have a way.
A very big antenna
On a CubeSat, not possible.
on the ground station.
Oh, on the ground, maybe.
A very
You
big
remember the name
receiving
of the
antenna
mission?
and a very good low noise amplifier.
I do not remember the name. I imagine if you did a Google search on Artemis CubeSats, let me do it. There's
Oh,
like
right.
11 of them that are going up. 10. Listed. I'm scrolling through the names. CUSP.
Oh,
CubeSat to study solar particles, CUSP.
That sounds good.
that's interesting because that's a name of something completely different in the magnetosphere.
Solar particles will be orbiting the sun after it's carried out of Earth's atmosphere, according to this. So they're just going to go past the moon.
Are they going to a libration point?
It doesn't really go into a whole lot of
Interesting.
details on this. Is just a site that lists all the CubeSats. It's a 6U. It's not a 1U. It's a 6U.
Yep.
So it's got some size to it.
Yeah, I'm involved with one that's a 6U that's actually 2 separate satellites. It's going to be an HF propagation experiment and Aurora.
I think they had a website. Let me see if I can find it. It's got a Wikipedia page. I think it's out of Harvard. Well, there's a link. I can put it in the chat. I can find the chat. And actually, I think that's an old article. But I doubt if the satellites changed. I just thought it was interesting. Of course, they haven't gotten the rocket off the ground yet.
Yeah, I'm excited about that happening though. Did they say so it's studying solar wind particles, but did it say anything else about the specifics of the science mission? Like what questions are they studying or anything like that?
I didn't really read that in depth there. If you do look, search for CUSP, there are some journal articles that have abstracts posted, but I didn't dig into the actual articles.
Yeah. If you see, if you just search for cusp, like David McGaw said, a cusp refers to a specific part of the magnetosphere. It's that region where you have open field lines that go from the Earth and connect directly to the solar wind. And that allows a free flow of particles from the solar wind into the polar region of the Earth. So if you're looking up cusp in journal articles, you may end up getting many of those articles too.
Yeah, I found another link that might be helpful. It looks like a PowerPoint presentation.
Yeah, that might be more current.
I also believe that that is also the region in which whistlers can experience magnetospheric magnetospheric refraction, where they refract within the magnetosphere. Unfortunately, they can't really be observed on the ground. They have to be observed through satellites.
Yeah, that PowerPoint apparently does have some of the instruments that they have on board.
Let's take a look.
It's down a bit. Vector helium magnetometer, miniature electron proton telescope, super thermal ion spectrograph. And I did see somewhere, oh yeah, it says 3 months lifetime, bandwidth limited.
It sounds very experimental.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of interesting because right now we get pretty much all of our solar wind data from either the Discover satellite, ACE, or I guess sometimes Wind too. And we basically use one measurement from the L1 point to characterize all of the solar wind interactions that, we're seeing around us. And so that's hardly enough measurements.
Kind of
So,
lopsided.
yeah.
Yeah, well, when they're both working, we get 2 points.
Yeah, right next
Ace
to
and
each other.
Discover. And they can
Practically
be
right next to
very
each other.
different regimes.
Yeah.
Yeah, we use them when we're planning our rocket shots, and we watch both of them because they can be in, even though they're fairly close to one another and around L1, they can be seeing very different portions of the solar wind, especially when it's turbulent.
Yeah, they got a trajectory graph or whatever. They're going past the moon. They're going into solar orbit.
I'm interested what their communication scheme is.
Yeah, it talks about the radio, but I think the comment about the ground station is probably appropriate. They're going to have to be using probably a deep space net. Big dish.
The PowerPoint looks fairly detailed.
It does. It's well, it's got JPL logos and NASA logos on it, Goddard logos on it.
Yeah.
So I stumbled across it while I was waiting for the rocket to launch. I said, oh, look, they got CubeSats. And I saw that one. I thought maybe this group knew something about it. So.
Yeah, that's really cool. We're having NASA come to the University of Scranton in the week after DCC. So our local congressman got them to come to do a small business networking day for the region. And so as long as they're here, we also are getting them to do some presentations for the students and the general public as well. And I think September 23rd is one of the next possible dates for the Artemis mission to
Yeah,
launch. So that would be really exciting for us because the NASA representatives are going to have a panel on campus on the evening of September 22nd. So it'll be all about Artemis. So it'll be really exciting if the mission can actually launch the next day.
yeah, it's September 23rd around noon.
Yeah, so that will be very exciting. We actually have the NASA people there.
Barring any more fuel leaks.
That's right. You never know what's going to happen.
Especially with hydrogen.
I actually watched the post scrub teleconference from the mission managers, and one of the media people stood up. He says, "Could you characterize this, in a bucket situation? How many buckets of fuel were coming out?" And the guy goes, "We don't measure hydrogen in buckets."
Mm-hmm.
But he did say that the gaseous concentration of hydrogen was about 4 times larger than explosive levels, so they had to shut it down. It was a massive leak.
Oh, I see what's going on is it's flying away from us. And the mission is dependent on how long they can hold its signal.
Yeah, bandwidth limited.
Right. It shows an extended mission
Yeah,
as it's flying beyond.
yeah, if they get Arecibo back up.
It's the steerable Arecibo.
Yeah, yeah. Well, they got one in China now,
Not steerable.
didn't it? I thought
No,
it was.
the new Arecibo, if they build it, will be steerable dishes. So not one big dish, but an array of steerable dishes, so they can get a much wider pattern out of it. Haven't heard anything lately on whether that's moving ahead.
Yeah, they probably don't have the money.
Well, yeah, not yet.
Yeah, I haven't been following that too much either.
Nathaniel, you've been writing papers.
Yeah, and I'm going to continue writing papers and grants. I need to get the HAMSI. I need to get the HAMSI workshop organized. So that's going to be a grant proposal. Jonathan Rizzo, myself, Morris Cohen from Georgia Tech, we're planning on writing a grant for BLF stuff. And we're doing another one for what do you call it? The Solar Eclipse QSO party. And then I'm working on a team, a Living with a Star team, looking at super darn data. And I'm supposed to be looking at traveling atmospheric disturbances both in the northern hemisphere and the southern hemisphere. So I'm trying to get all that data wrangled as well. So it's been busy.
Yeah.
And those papers I just wrote, we're now supposed to submit them. Like they said that they could be published, like peer reviewed published as well. But apparently it's not an automatic thing. You have to go through and you need to submit them to this special issue of the Bulletin of the American Astronomical Society. And so that due date is October 7th. I'm unclear how much needs or needs not be changed to what I originally wrote to make that submission process possible. But I really would like to get those published as peer-reviewed documents.
Yeah.
Nathaniel, I just checked the VLF-SDR Raspberry Pi and the server, and they're everything looks good. Looks like that my startup script that I wrote for the server works pretty well. So it's capturing and processing data.
That's great. I still need to put the what do you call it? I need to still need to put the UPSs up on there. And I know I still have to put the hard drive up there too. I'm gonna send Morris Cohen an email this week to let him know that we've gotten this far, and probably send him a reminder that we need to be working on this proposal. And I'm gonna offer him, I'll let him know that you're presenting in the DCC,
Right.
and that we're collecting some data that might be useful for the proposal.
Oh, that'll be great.
Yeah.
I would like to know if he actually, I don't know if he used VLFRX tools in the past, or if he used whatever software he used when for his system, which I assume is the awesome receiver. But yeah, there's a lot of really good data on here and easy to access. So maybe sometime after the DCC, we could do a conference call and I could kind of show them a lot of stuff.
That would be really good.
Yeah, if you'd like to.
Yeah, that would be really good. Mhm. Yeah, there's definitely a lot to do.
Oh, also for the eclipse, I'm very interested in the VLF transmitter data because since it's supposed to be a temporary nighttime, what we should see on the VLF transmitters, on the amplitude and phase data, we should see temporary nighttime conditions during the eclipse. So we're not in totality, so I don't know how much it'll affect us, but it would be cool if we could get a receiver at Case Western to capture some VLF transmitters.
That would be very possible.
Yeah, I was thinking of that because yeah, it might not affect us, but that's still 2 years down the road.
Yes, but I think that might be something that goes into the proposal.
Okay.
That is certainly something to consider.
Yeah, I would really like to have at least one receiver somewhere in the path of totality, just to see what would happen, because I don't know if the SuperSID group has some data, but they had some data from the 2017 eclipse, and with a lot of their transmitters or a lot of their receivers picked up what looked like temporary nighttime conditions.
Yeah. Yeah, I would expect it would be possible. And Morris did a whole bunch during the last eclipse too. Did you see his paper on that?
Oh yes, that's
Yeah.
right. That's right.
So there's a whole GRL special issue on the last eclipse. So I know he had a paper in there, and a bunch of other people did too. That's where my SEQP paper is.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So I think that's some reading to do. I can put the link to that in the chat for everybody.
Yes, please.
Eclipse special issue. So yeah, right. So there's a special issue for the last eclipse. And
Okay.
right, and here's the link directly to Morris Cohen's paper. So he looked at 11. Yeah, he's got a nice map of VLF. The VLF stations in there.
Oh, nice. Okay.
So yeah, so he has receivers there. He's got the transmitters marked too. So he's got a little bit of a network going already.
Oh, nice.
Okay. And then you can see,
Oh, look at that.
how he lays out the observations.
Yeah. Oh, wow. That's another paper in the writing.
There you go. Yeah, it's really good for you to see how these papers are laid out, Jonathan,
Yeah.
because this can give you really good ideas on how to organize the observations that you're making.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can see he's got the GOES X-ray flux right on top there.
Oh, yeah, look at that.
And so you can see how that responds.
Mm-hmm.
This is the day before the eclipse. This is the day of the eclipse.
Right. Yeah, that's so those peaks, I would imagine, the day of the eclipse. Is that was that just an X-ray flare event?
I know there was a C-class flare right during the eclipse,
Oh, that's right. Yeah.
because we saw that in HF Doppler shift data from WWV.
Right. Yeah. Look at that. Okay. Yeah. And it's interesting. Some sites show a inverted shark fin, and some sites show a normal shark fin.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, that is a really nice paper. I wish that I knew more about his papers in the past, but yeah, that's a really nice paper.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, thanks for posting the link.
You're welcome. Yeah, plenty of opportunity now to read these.
Yeah, this is pretty exciting.
I'm gonna send Steve Bible an email shortly, because I think I'd like him to. I'm gonna ask if he can rearrange the order of some of our talks on Friday. Just a slight rearrangement. Because right now I only have a half a time slot for my talk, and think I could really use a full-time slot since I'll be talking about the personal space weather station and the eclipses. And with the eclipses, we've got two projects. We have both the one for the grape and the one in the solar eclipse QSO party right now. And then I think, and then Diego, he was given a full talk for looking at the LSTID work, and I think he'd be much more comfortable with a half of a talk.
Yeah, I'm sure that Steve would swap them around this way. This way, you could have the full 45 minutes.
Yeah, it looks pretty easy to do.
There is more time on Saturday
I don't think that's needed though.
if it's a non
Yeah.
project related talk.
Yeah. No, they're all project.
I do know
related.
he was very, I don't know if Dan's still there, but I think he was very close to printing the schedule.
Yeah. Well, I'll send him an email as soon as we get off of this telecon.
Yeah.
So drafting it now. I just need to double check it. In fact, it's kind of quiet tonight. So if we want to call it early, I think I'd be happy with that because we've got a busy week to get ready for DCC.
Yep.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, thank you so much, Dave and the group. I really appreciate it.
7-3, everybody. See you at Charlotte.
Okay.
73.
73.
73.
73 all.
23. Have a good night.
Good night.